What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing very well. Hope you're having a great day. We are going to continue with the series of reviewing some of the raid bosses. Now, we've done Guardian, we did Dissausage, and we're going to work on Xy'Mox today. There's something on my desk. I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. Don't panic. It's gone now. Grab a coffee. Kick back, relax. We are looking at the raid. We're looking at Zereth Mortis. Not Zereth Mortis. Sepulcher of the First Ones. And I'm going to tell you, first of all, the build that I took into this raid, into this fight on Xy'Mox. What build did I run on Enhancement Shaman? And then we're going to look at the VOD of the fight. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to do this boss. What to look out for. What's the main mechanic that you need to, like, think about when you're in the fight, and how does it all kind of fit together. So let's jump into it. Get your coffee. Let me take a drink here. Let me get my notes up. Whoa. My two monitors have like two different resolutions, so when I move my notepad from like one to the other, it just goes boom. It like explodes. So, okay. What are we talking about? We're talking about Artificer. Xy'Mox, he's back. For those of you guys who did Castle Nathria, Xy'Mox is back, and the fight is very similar to the Xy'Mox fight in Castle Nathria. It's actually quite similar. You can see here, back in Nathria, he was right here, Artificer Xy'Mox. And anyway, we'll get to the fight in a second. Let me talk about my build. So I ran Witch Doctor Wolfbones in that fight. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did. Yeah. I didn't go PLA. I was thinking about doing PLA, but I did Witch Doctor Wolfbones. You'll see it in the dungeon, in the raid. Can't talk right now. And of course, we ran a single target setup like this with our talents. So we went Ellie Blast, Hot Hand, Ellie Assault, Elemental Spirit, Sundering. That's the build. You need Ellie Assault, of course, because you're going single target. There is an ad phase in Xy'Mox, but it doesn't last too long. I think your efforts are better served going Elemental Assault here. There is something to be said for either going Hailstorm or Fire Nova, because the ad phase is there, and on like Heroic difficulty and Mythic, the ad phase will last a lot longer. But I think, really, realistically speaking, Ellie Assault is better. Not only for the extra damage that Storm, you're going to be pressing Storm Strike a lot more because it's single target, but also the weapon, the Maelstrom weapon stacks that it generates helps to get you back to your next spender. So that's kind of important. Ellie Blast we're taking because Lashing Flames is really good on AoE when you can tab target and hit multiple people with the Flame Shock, double damage debuff. You can't do that on Xy'Mox because it's mostly single target. So your best bet, I think, is to go Ellie Blast here. It does a ton of damage, and you're going to be getting more uses out of it because you're taking Ellie Assault and because you have your dogs up a lot. They generate a ton of Maelstrom weapon stacks, and you're going to see over the course of the VOD that we watch, the Maelstrom weapon stacks that I generate are very, very good. So Ellie Blast is great, and then we're running Hot Hand. This is maybe the most controversial part of this build. You have to make a choice when you're picking this build. You have to either go full in on Storm Strike, and then I would say you have to deviate from Mastery because Storm Strike doesn't benefit from Mastery. Or you pick a Fire version of this build. Remember, we're running Witch Doctor Wolfbones, so we're getting all the wolves out, and you're going to get multiple buffs from the wolves, from the Elemental Spirits talent. So, like, you might get a Fire Wolf, which increases your fire damage by 20%, makes Lava Lash put a dot on the enemy. You might get a Lightning Wolf, which increases your Storm Strike and Wind Fury damage by 30%. Or you might get a Frost Wolf, which increases all damage that you deal by a percentage. We actually don't know what the percentage is. I thought I did before, but I don't. You just do additional Frost damage with all of your attacks and abilities. Everything that you press does additional Frost damage. So 2 out of the 3 of those is a Mastery-focused benefit. One Elemental Spirit is Fire, more fire damage. The other one is Frost, which is both of those benefit from Mastery. So I'm pivoting to the Fire side of this build with Witch Doctor Wolfbones because I'm invested so heavily into Mastery. I have 67% Mastery with my food and my Fleshcraft and everything ready to go. 67% Mastery. Like, that means that if I press Storm Strike, it doesn't benefit from Mastery at all. All the investment I've put into Mastery is kind of wasted because I have to press Storm Strike. Now, you have to press... Storm Strike's not a bad button. I'm just trying to tell you why I'm pivoting my build over to the fire version is because I'm investing so heavily into mastery. So if I get a frost wolf or a fire wolf, 66% of the time when I summon my wolves, they're going to be really good for me because I've invested so heavily into mastery. 33% of the time, I'll get a lightning wolf, and it still gives me more damage. It still gives me more damage on Stormstrike and Wind Fury, just not as much because they don't benefit from mastery at all. Okay, so that's the build setup. I'm not going to harp on that too much. I just want to make sure you guys understand my reasoning. That's the talents. That's the legendary. My covenant, of course, is Necrolord, and I'm sticking with Plague Deviser Marileth. These conduits are pretty essential. You need to have Tumbling Waves, you need to have Focus Lightning, and you need to have Magma Fist because you're pressing Lava Lash so much in this build because of the Hot Hand procs. Even though it's not Primal Lava Actuators, it's still good to have Magma Fist because 30% free crit on your Lava Lash is disgusting. It means you don't have to invest in crit. I have 50% crit, basically, on my Lava Lash for free. So, pretty cool. That's the build, okay? So, let's move forward. Let's get into the VOD. That's all I wanted to show you for the start. So, let's go to Artificer Xy'Mox here. We'll go to the video review. Let's move all this stuff out of here. I need to get Discord. Oh, I need to get Discord out of the way first. I know we're doing an Inception thing right now. But okay, we're good. So, here's the VOD. We're going to hit play here. This is just the opener. And I'm going to show you the opening pull on the fight. Make sure that I'm in the right place here, but
and we'll have someone put the other one on yellow. That's kind of in
a little bit further ahead. Sorry.
The reason move from where Xy'Mox.
Oh, I thought I was in the right spot.
Melee. Other than that, I think it will just kind of give us a few more pulls and get going for the next.
Glyph relocation comes out to green.
So we had already pulled this on another night, but we had finished that night. Okay, here's the starting here. So let me just pause for a second. Xy'Mox has a really big arena. It's actually quite big. But it gets filled up very quickly with all kinds of stuff. There's traps, and there's the portals that you have to put down. And when the ads come out, it gets even busier. The traps really start to fill up this room, as you're going to see as the fight progresses. So this room is sort of deceptively small. It looks big, but it's actually quite small.
Sphere. Make sure you call out which marker you're going to go to.
So we lost on pull. Get the dogs out.
Kind of move towards red. I need you on the other side of the map.
My primordial wave out.
So I'm going to go far, so you go short. Take the boss.
So the portals.
All the way to skull, please.
We kind of messed up the portals here. You should set up a portal like right here and then a portal like right here. And the portals are the main part of this entire fight. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So one of the most important things that you need to do on this fight, if you learn anything from this video, take this away. Once you set the portals down, you need to tank the boss in between those portals, basically. Now, not everybody needs to go there, because if traps end up in between the two portals, then you're kind of screwed, because you're going to run into the traps and get stunned. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, but we'll just keep looking at this for a second.
Get him right back over the skull.
I hit the trap by accident there. You can hit the traps an infinite number, or not the traps, the portal. Sorry, I hit the portal there. You can take the portals an infinite number of times. It does not matter. There's no debuff. Maybe there is on the higher difficulties, but not on normal.
That way the traps are not in the way for when we actually...
So you see the traps are down here? See how big those are? Like, they start to fill up the entire room, and they mostly get focused on ranged people. So the ranged people need to be very careful where they're standing, and Hero is actually trying to organize our whole group and get us to stand in kind of the correct spots, and we're having a tough time figuring it out at the beginning, but we get really good at it later. Here comes the first set of rings. So there's a trap right there. Hero got trapped already, but that's okay. We can break him out. If you step on a trap, you get stunned, and your allies have to help you break free. Here comes the first ring.
Okay, so we need that far earlier.
So here's what we did wrong. We're going to die to this ring. The portal that we want to get to is over here. It's way over here, okay? So that's a problem because we're over here, and we're not going to get there in time. So this is why you need to position yourself in between the rings when you set them. If you set a ring down here and a ring down here, you need to tank the boss basically right here so that no matter where the rings start to emanate from, you can run to either one of those portals. You'll see that better in a minute. I'll explain that better in a minute. We end up dying here. Let's skip ahead. 7. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong timestamp. I'm sorry. 110. There we go. 110. 30. Go to here.
And you're going to be going to
okay, so we just went through a ring there. If people get stuck in the traps, you got to help them right away. This fight is basically all about the play space. So you can see there's more traps out now, and it's starting to get a little bit busier.
Stunned in center.
Livwin is stunned here, over here.
I'm coming, Liv, I'm coming.
So I come and help him. He got hit by a trap because there's so many traps around. There's more traps coming. It starts to get very busy. Here comes the ring. If the ring, all the rings start, like the animation starts in the middle. If it starts traveling upwards like it is right now, that means the ring is going to start on the edge of the encounter and come in. If the ring in the middle here goes down, then it's going to start from the middle and come out. So watch this. The ring goes up. It's going to start from the outer side. You can see the ring circle just starting right over here, starting to come in. Now, we should be positioned right here in the middle because our portals are right here. See the portals? 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, it doesn't matter anymore, but if you'll see we're kind of positioned in the correct spot now. But if we had been positioned over here, we could just run into our portal, or we could run into the other portal if we needed to. But we're in a good spot here. But you can see how busy the traps are. See how crazy it starts getting? Now, we phased him here, so it doesn't matter. As soon as you phase him, the ads come out, so you can kind of skip a ring. The ad phase is really difficult. If you don't have an ability to... If you don't have a DK, basically, you really need like a Death Knight here to just grip everybody in with Gore Fiends or with Abomination Limb. It's actually like almost essential on this fight. You can have... If there's other classes that can do it, then sure, but the Death Knight would just have the absolute easiest way of doing this because these guys are mostly casters, so they're not going to like run in and congregate for you. You have to pull them in. So really important in the ad phase to be kicking the ads, especially as a shaman. Go and find a stray ad that's just sitting on the outside channeling on somebody and kick him. And then once they're all grouped up together, stun them. You can do all that. You can stun them. You can kick them. You can Monk Ring of Beast bounce them.
Yeah.
You can disorient them with, you can blind them with a rogue. Everything will work. And it's important to kick everything. This ad that's marked with skull, you do need to kill him first. There's like one super ad, and I think it's this guy here. And you need to kill him first. And he'll make the rest of the ad phase a lot easier. If you let him live, then you're kind of in trouble. He does this massive blast. See this? See this cone going out? You got to watch for that as well. That'll be happening in the entire ad phase. Big cone attack there. Dookie just got hit by it. You can see people will be getting hit by it. I get hit by it later. But we finally grouped them all together. It takes us so long. That took us like 20 seconds to get them all together. That's not what you want. You need them together in like the first 3 seconds, and then you blow a couple cooldowns and just blow them up. Because the longer this phase goes, the more healing intensive it is. Once this is done, you're going to repeat phase 1.
See what the next traps are like, and then maybe do it.
If you have hunters, they can clear the traps. I don't think that works on heroic, though. It doesn't work on the higher difficulty. So here's the portal. We're going to put it here, and we're going to put the other portal over there like we normally do. Okay.
Can you taunt the boss?
Now, I think this is the first section of the fight that we do correctly.
Oh, yeah,
Once we get to 112, you can watch this. Once the rings start to come, they're coming right now. We're going to move in between the two.
coming out, get ready.
This is what you need to do.
Middle yellow.
We should have moved already,
Clear traps.
but we didn't.
Okay, we're going out. Go out toward yellow.
So, again, we're still not very good at this. This was like our 3rd or 4th pull. But you run out, you get this ring, and then you teleport back inside, and you're good to go.
Hey, go towards.
But there's another ring coming. There's a second one. And then once you get the boss to a certain health threshold, he starts adding multiple rings, okay?
Same thing. Out.
So now we have to go back out again. That's a tank mechanic where everybody gets sucked in together.
Not bad. Not bad.
That was actually kind of lucky. But that's the general idea, and we almost do it correctly, but we're not there yet. We're still learning. So let's move to 116 where we do it correctly. Let me show you what it looks like. $116. Here we go here. Each other here. It's coming. So we've placed the portals again. There's one in the middle, and there's one at the edge there. Right now, as soon as he starts doing the Forerunner rings, like channel, he starts doing that spell, you need to move the boss in between the two portals.
Rings move in
So
between-
Hero says it, and we start going. Right now, we've learned our lesson. We start moving right now. This is perfect. Now the ring starts coming, and we're in a great spot. We're in between the two portals now, which means if the ring is coming from the middle, we can run to the outside. If the ring is coming from the outside over here, we can run into the middle. Does everybody understand that?
Towards yellow. Out toward yellow. Good, go
So it's coming from the inside, so now we can run to the outside. And then we're in between the two portals once again. Boom, boom. And we're waiting for the next one to come down. Although it's too early in the fight, so it won't. But that's the idea there.
That's fine.
This tank mechanic where everybody gets sucked in like this, all you have to do is just let it happen. And then you have to spread because we all have little circles around us. If you're standing like on top of somebody else, when you get hit by the Hyperlight Spark, you'll both get double stacks of the dot, and it does a lot of damage. So you need to spread. Spread, spread, spread. See how it's bouncing around, that Hyperlight Spark? You got to be careful with that. Don't be standing next to anybody. You can see down here, Saruchi, and I think Saruchi's got 2 and Livwin's got 2 because they just happen to be close to somebody else, unfortunately. So that can happen. Here's the ad phase once again. Let's skip ahead. We're going to skip to 148. We actually do it all correctly this time. 148.50. Let's go here. Okay. So the portals are set up again. Here comes the rings. We need to move right now. We need to position in between. There we go. We start moving. Now we're in between the rings. And we can see it's coming from the middle. It's coming from right here. So now we can just run to the outside. So it's perfectly fine. And you got to wait. Then you go. And then that's it there. We're going to get sucked in again. We're starting to learn how to do this better. The stasis traps, this is where it starts to become an issue. You have to be really careful if you start putting traps in between the two portals where you're trying to run, because it just won't work if that's what you end up doing. So let's go to 153. This is the final sort of section of the fight. I think I get autoed by a minion there. That's my mistake. You have to be really careful. You got to let the tanks sort of pick them up. So here we go. Let's move forward.
All the way to the middle, all the way to the center. Okay.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Good try.
So that's okay. So we dropped off our portals, and they're a little bit off center now, but that's okay. You want this middle portal to be directly in the center of the zone. Very important. Here comes the rings. So we need to get in between the portals, which we do perfectly. Here comes the ring.
We're going to be on the outside one.
We're running to the outside. Okay, here we go.
Wait.
We go through. See how we almost got hit there? This portal here, this one right here, needs to be closer to the center. If it's on the outside, you might hit the portal that's exiting, or you might hit this wave by accident. We're all gonna get sucked into Zeph here. That's okay. Then we need to go to the portal. I almost die here. Look at this. So close. So close.
I got you!
Glow gripped Saruchi there. Okay, rings again.
That was awesome.
So we're already in between the two portals, which is great.
Outside.
So we go to the outside again.
Wait a sec, 'cause it's off kilter. Wait. Okay, go through.
Great, that's good. Now, at this stage in the fight, there's no more ads. He'll just keep doing rings for the rest of the fight. That's what he does.
Same thing. Outside.
Again, we have to run to the outside again.
Wait.
As long as you're positioned in between those two portals, you can make the decision which way you need to go, and it will work out every time. So just remember that, guys. This is the most important part of this entire fight. I know I keep talking about it, but it's actually just the entire fight is all wrapped up in this. If you position your group right here, in between these portals, every time the rings are coming, you can choose the correct portal. If the rings are starting from the inside, you run to the outside. If the rings are starting from the outside, you can run into the inside portal, and you're safe every single time. It's just really important. So we keep killing them.
Just rings from here on out.
Just rings.
Yeah, I got.
You can see our damage is okay.
You go in center.
It could be better, but I was just learning this fight. So we reposition the portals. He's doing rings again. Lots of traps now. Here comes the rings. So we have to run to the outside.
Yes.
Yeah, after this, we can clear that trap. Go through yellow now.
Okay, we go through.
Which
Keep
trap, that
fighting.
trap?
Yeah. Get to the inside. We're doing inside here.
Oh boy.
Inside here, guys.
We all get pulled to Zeph, and that's okay.
It's okay. Relax,
go-
relax.
go
Get
through the
toward
portal.
inside. 3, 2, 1.
Good. This is why Ellie Blast is good on this fight as well. You just saw me cast Ellie Blast there. There's a lot of moments in this fight where you're like taking a portal and you're like always a couple feet away or 10 or 15 yards away from the boss. So having ranged abilities like Frost Shock and Ellie Blast and a Maelstrom Infused Lightning Bolt, all that kind of stuff can be really helpful.
The calm down part, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Get the trap.
Alright.
Get the stasis. Someone gets stuck in a trap, but that's okay.
You're going the outside.
Good.
Get to the outside one. At green.
Back outside again. It's
2,
just
1.
rings and rings and rings. It's a little hectic.
In the middle.
Don't
Here
worry
comes
about
rings
leave her
again.
alone.
Leave me alone, I guess.
Yeah, we're going in the center.
It's okay. So now the rings are coming from the outside in.
Wait. Go.
And we get him down. Not a problem.
I can't.
Everybody?
Okay, we're gonna be on the outside.
There we go. That's the kill.
Sorry,
Dupa.
Good job.
So Dupa beat me by 100 DPS. No, by point. Oh yeah, 100 DPS. That's just really close. That's pretty awesome. But that's the fight. That's the whole fight in a nutshell. It gets really hectic and really busy, and it can feel like you're kind of overwhelmed with the amount of traps. But what's really, really important in this fight is, number one, you need to position in between the portals like I was talking about. Number two, the ranged players need to be careful where they're standing, because the traps will be focused on your ranged players in the raid. So if they're standing in between the two portals, for example, that's really bad for your group. It's just not going to be a good time. So all the traps that are spread out here, you can see we've got them all kind of lined up on the floor over here, which is really great. The ranged players have done a good job of putting them over here. But so that's why we have our ranged players kind of stand over here in this arc kind of thing, and then we tank the boss here. Once the rings start to come out, we move in between the portals. But
behind me, kind of toward orange.
see, the hero wants the range to get over here because that's where the traps are going to be put. Then they're the ones that
Go
get
long, taunt.
targeted with
Middle,
traps.
whoever
Middle.
else has it.
Or the middle. Yep.
More in the
Middle, all
middle.
the way
So
to
that's
middle.
just an important part. So it's about putting the traps in the right place, and then it's about respecting your position in between the portals. You have to do that correctly. Where you're tanking the boss is super important. As long as you're standing in between the portals, you're kind of always safe. So that's the big part of that fight. So yeah, I think that that's Xy'Mox in a nutshell. It's actually not too difficult once you kind of get those pieces down pat, but you do need to respect the mechanics there. And we did pretty good damage. I ended up doing 7.1k, as you can see. And I could have done better, but we were just learning the fight. I'll just review one more time the build that we did. We, in fact, did do Witch Doctor Wolfbones. We did do our talents. So this was Ellie Blast, Hot Hand, Ellie Assault. I did do a fire focus build. That's because I'm running. I'm focusing on mastery with Plague Divisor Marileth as my soulbind. And make sure that you run Magma Fist, Tumbling Waves, Focus Lightning. Those are my conduits there. So that's the build. That's Artificer Xy'Mox. Hopefully I can help you guys in your progression on Xy'Mox. He's a lot of fun. I think we're just going to breeze through him next week when we go through the bosses again, because now we sort of have a really good idea of where to put everything. That was just the first couple, 10 pulls that we had done on it. So that's it, guys. I'm going to keep doing reviews of the boss fights as we get to them. I have one coming up on Halandris, which is a really, really fun fight. So I'll get to that. If you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. If you want to send a like on this video, I would also really appreciate it. We're making a big push to 1,000 subscribers, so tell your friends, get them to subscribe too. And until the next time, we'll see you later.